First and foremost, apologies for the long wait for Decoded. We have been working on some other long-term projects and I promise that we will return to our previous schedule very soon. But for now, apologies again and welcome back. And of course, we are going to discuss Manipur because while we were away, it seems the BJP government finally realized that peace would not become a reality under the leadership of Biren Singh and decided to impose President's rule in Manipur. Now, what happens next? We will go into the details in this episode. Pursuing for months.
The village of Assam
in the 75th Independence Day.
Once again, let us go back to May 3, 2023. Manipur was burning and the opposition, as expected, wasted no time in calling for President's rule. In fact, the appointment of Kuldeep Singh was in many ways seen as the announcement of the President's rule, although it was never formalized. At that time, it seemed, on paper at least, that while the state government would remain in power, the centre would play a proactive role in ending the conflict. The appointment of Kuldeep Singh along with the deployment of thousands of additional security forces would bring the conflict to a swift end. We could not have been more wrong. The Manipur police and most of Imphal media became mouthpieces of Biren Singh. The army never knew when and how to act. The MLAs went their own way and, of course, civilians died by the hundreds while thousands continued to remain in relief camps. The state continued to be confused. The centre never really cared beyond making empty statements. The PM never visited and still has not, and Manipur continued to suffer. One can only wonder what would have happened had the real President's rule been implemented 2 years ago. But had the agencies had done their job, maybe President's rule would not have been needed at all. Let me make one thing very clear. The President's rule was not because the government all of a sudden realized that Biren Singh was not the messiah they had hoped for. It was a much more simpler reason: politics. Even people in the USA knew that Biren Singh's government had developed more cracks than a century-old building. Everyone was openly talking about rebellions. The Kuki MLAs have never even entered Imphal since violence began, and whether you realize this or not, 2 of the 3 years of the Biren Singh 2.0 government have been engulfed in conflict. If there is one thing that the BJP values more than telling how bad Congress is, it is elections. Manipur will go to elections in 2027. So allowing President's rule for now is also an opportunity to ensure that the party strengthens again and gets ready for elections. The very fact that none of the MLAs, Kuki or Meitei, were ever dismissed from the party shows that for the BJP, it was never about holding their leaders accountable. Please remember, human beings are temporary. Politics is permanent. Now, I can say that despite apprehensions, the President's rule has started well. The governor's call for arms surrender has been met with relative success from both sides, although the cynic in me believes that the surrender is just for show. I mean, Manipur was peaceful and several insurgent organizations had signed SOO, yet when the conflicts began, guns came out like they were being ordered via Amazon Prime. If there is one thing that has become clear, it is that neither Meiteis nor Kukis trust each other, and why would they? It is not as if the two sides have sat down to talk. At this point, the question that makes for uncomfortable conversations is about what peace will look like, because as always, it will not be easy, smooth or even assured. The sheer amount of legal proceedings that need to be followed could overwhelm our legal system. Claims of compensation will run into thousands, just as the scramble to ensure that those in relief camps return to their homes. And for each of these issues, we must ensure that politicians, the leaders who claim to represent them, must sit down and talk. They must put aside their differences and do what their mandate is, to represent their people and work for their advancement. And let us say that following the President's rule, Manipur returns to some sort of normalcy. In that case, would it be wrong to question why the BJP waited so long to implement President's rule. For now though, I will have to have zero trust in politicians.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to EastMojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.